I'm Katrina, and this is Sow and Tare. Today I'd like to talk to you about something some of you probably won't want to watch, and that is fine. That is completely fine. I am going to talk about first-time processing of an animal, first-time processing for your animals. So if you are not coming to this channel for raising your own meat, I would skip this video. There's lots of other videos. I have tons of playlists you can watch. This channel is all about homesteading and homesteading topics. We have food forests, we have foraging, we have gardening. There's all sorts of things other than raising meat. However, if you would like to learn about raising meat, stick on this channel. So you're welcome to go watch another video if you are not into this, and if you are curious or are concerned about your first processing, this is the right video for you. I'm not going to monetize this video, so you guys watching other videos is helpful to me to make up for what's lost in this video. So I'll give you a little bit to click off of this video if that's something that you prefer, and I'll talk about what animals I have right now while you decide that, make your decision. So I do have rabbits. You can see behind me are my grow outs. These are meat rabbits, and they are past due for their processing. I was supposed to process them last weekend, and it rained and I got waylaid doing other things. So it'll happen soon. I have 3 chickens that are basically pets that poop breakfast, and I used to raise and will raise again Caternix quail. I'm going to be making a large area for them. I'm not there yet. I have too many other things to deal with right now. So that will come probably this summer, honestly. So hopefully you've had enough time that the people left here want to be here and want to learn about kind of what you're going to go through. Now, this is my take on things. Other people might have different take on things, and if you would like to share your experiences and they are okay for YouTube, go ahead and share them below. And what I would like to say is processing an animal is hard, is difficult. Even if it's not physically difficult, it can be psychologically difficult. And when you process your first animal, you're going to be concerned about, are you doing it right? Are you, pulling hard enough? Or is it in the right spot? Or, all these different things. And it is different when you have an animal in your hands than, if you're a hunter with a gun. It is different. So when you have an animal in your hands, it's a different, thought process, I guess. So I will start out by saying it's not really an easy thing to do. You can get better at it, but it may not ever be an easy thing to do. Where I guess take comfort is that if I'm going to be raising my own meat, if I'm going to eat meat, I would prefer to raise my own because I know how they're treated, I know what they're eating, and I know how they are processed, and they're processed humanely. So during that thought process, that's a reason to grow your own meat. And if you're growing your own meat, you do eventually have to process them. Now, you could bring them to a processor. You could have a friend or a neighbor, process them. You may be like, hey, I'll raise them if you process them. That is totally a legitimate thing to do. Totally legitimate. If you are taking them to a processor, depending on what you're taking, it might not make sense financially. So, if you're raising quail and you take all your quail to a processor, that's going to cost you a lot. Whereas if you're doing a pig, okay, maybe it was worth the effort. That's going to be based on your own finances and your own abilities. The thing I want to emphasize here is that it's okay if you're not feeling good about it. It's okay, but if you're going to process, you need to get yourself to a place mentally before you start that you will be swift and smooth in your actions. You make a decision and you go for it, because if that doesn't happen, you can potentially hurt the animal, and you don't want to do that for many reasons. One, you don't want to hurt animals unless, like, you don't want them in pain. And then two, there can be a stress hormone released, and that can be not a good thing. And I will put a link to the video I talk about with stress, and you guys can check that out. So I will say it's okay to be emotional. It's okay if you take all day to do one animal. If you need to cuddle that thing and then process it, that is okay. Now, hopefully you're not doing that with every animal. Hopefully, as time goes on, you become quicker in your mental process. And it is also okay to cry. It's fine. The key thing is that during the processing, during the actual processing action, that you don't make it about you and your emotions. It is important that everything is about that animal at that time. So making sure your actions are smooth and swift is important. Making sure you're in the right place is important. And making sure you have enough strength if you're pulling on something, that's important. It is important to give that animal their final moments in as much of a pain-free way as you can. And it's also important to realize you might not do that on your first time. You might not do it on the second time. You might not do it on the third time, but you will get there. Watching videos helps. I am not going to put up any videos of processing. I know YouTube doesn't like that, and I'm not trying to get kicked off. But there are plenty of videos out there, and we can talk descriptors. Sometimes we talk about that in the live chats. Sometimes we don't. Most of the times we don't. But, we can talk about different methods of doing things. And there are different methods of doing things for different animals. So mostly I wanted to emphasize that in that moment, it should be about the animal. And other than that, you are okay to have emotions about it. You are okay to cry about it. You are okay to do that. And then the key thing to take away from that is that you process those emotions after the fact. So if you're feeling like, wow, that really sucked, I never want to do this again, take a step back, evaluate why. And your why may be, it may be something that is not for you. And your why may be something that is a reaction to how something went. And if it's a reaction to how something went, my suggestion is to try again, figure out what went wrong, and see if you can find a solution to the what went wrong. I have a live chat every Monday night at 6 p.m. Pacific time, and if you guys want to talk this stuff out, we can actually talk that out on a live that has other people on it and other people's experiences and all of that. If you are having trouble with that beyond that, it's going to take, it could potentially take some time to figure out where you're comfortable. You may be comfortable processing a bird, but not a rabbit. Lots of people, that's true, because the rabbit's cute and fluffy. Now, if you eat rabbit and you know how yummy it is, you might be okay. If you are uncomfortable, but you still want to have the experience of homegrown meats, I recommend partnering with someone and see if, like, you can raise them and they can process, or maybe you pay for the feed and they process, and find out some sort of intersection that you guys can do to make it a partnership. And there are solutions, is what I'm trying to say. There are solutions, and that's okay. So I hope that made sense. I hope that gives you a little bit of peace and a little bit of encouragement, and that you are willing to try. If you have someone in your area that has processed the same animal you're doing, I recommend going to, volunteering and saying, hey, can I help you next time? And, they may say yes, they may say no. They may say you can come and watch. There's all sorts of ways that can go, but I recommend doing that. Now, I didn't, when I did my first quail and when I did my first rabbit, I was going based off of, pretty much videos, and it generally went well. So that's good. But if you have the opportunity to learn from someone in person, I highly recommend you do so, because number one is learning from someone who knows. Number two, they're going to catch your mistakes before you make them. Number three, there is something to be said for messing up on an animal you don't know versus one that you have raised. I've not done this, but it may be a different emotional response. And then if there is a mess up, there will be someone there that can quickly, I don't really want to say fix the issue, but quickly tend to the oops. And so that's something I would recommend. And yeah, so I hope this gave you guys a little bit of insight, and you're encouraged to try, encouraged to maybe think about your own psychology, think about your own reasons for growing things, reasons for wanting to do to process, your own emotional well-being and your own emotional response, and also take that the emotional response of it's that animal's time. It's not my time to be emotional. It's that animal's time. You can take that into other parts of your life. If you are someone who reacts emotionally, which is fine, but in certain circumstances, it would be better to kind of stay in the moment. That can, if you start practicing with that, that should help you. So, all right. Thank you for watching. I hope you feel better about this, and at least maybe if you don't feel better about it, at least it opens up a conversation, and we can have that conversation on a live chat, or in the comments section is a really good place to put some questions, and you'll get some answers, and hopefully people won't troll this. That is an unfortunate thing when you start talking about this subject, is that some people are just not nice. But this is a channel for learning. This is a channel for homesteading, and part of learning with homesteading for me is processing animals. And your emotional response and your responsibility should be factors in this. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we will talk to you later. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. We have lots of other videos and playlists to see, and we will talk to you later. Have a wonderful day.